Hi, beauties. Shirley Joy Weiss here again. As I'm sure you can tell, I've been pretty quiet the last few weeks. Haven't initiated a lot of interaction and communication in our group. And I wanted to just talk about that for a second. And then I wanted to dive in a really juicy topic of inquiry that I have in store for all of us, which is really, really important. It's our grounding, it's our foundation, it's our base as spirit-led, not just leaders, but being spirit-led. And I really want to talk to grounding our felt experience of what it means that we're divine. You know, so many of us have that concept in our heads, and there's always a rule of thumb that I go by around spiritual concepts. That if you say, I get that intellectually, but I don't really get it, I don't feel like I feel it, I live it and feel it in my life. It doesn't matter how well you get it, like you're just understanding words. That whole thing of I get it intellectually, but I don't really get it, means you don't get it. So I want to really talk about what it means that we are divine so that we can start anchoring that, embodying that. And so before that, I just wanted to give a few words why I've been so quiet the last few weeks. It seems it's a very, very noisy time in history right now, if you haven't noticed. And normally, I'm very excited to actually add to the noise because I'm always really moved and inspired by adding what I feel is more truth amidst an ocean of fear-based thoughts and insecurities and grief and struggle and suffering, and really fill the great ocean of information that we all live with and in, with positivity and love, simply love and understanding and compassion. And the noise has been so excessive that it's actually pulled me and contracted me deeply, deeply back in and into a beautiful period of just deep introspection. You know, it just seems just when fear and grief and strife and war, interpersonal war, international war, seems to be like at a really heightened, intense, boiling state. It really brought me home. What am I really doing to contribute to really powerfully make a difference? And I have been so moved by the work that I have done with so many women and change makers and just light workers over the past couple years, and all the groups that I have held, and just really dozens and dozens and dozens of women that I've held really intimately and back into their sense of power and radiance and divinity and ability to create change. But there was just like a deep call that felt there was something greater that wanted to emerge and unearth, and something more authentic. And really, a lot of pieces of me had to die for this greater invitation to come through. And I went through this beautiful hibernation, if you will, of really old parts of me dying. A lot of like the entrepreneurial like spirit in me actually had to die. So many of the things that used to motivate me and inspire me into action fell away, so that a more pure, authentic, love-based, dutiful motivation can spring me forward. And I'm just really excited to re-emerge now, because I really feel that's what's coming through me now. A sheer, pure desire to be of the most powerful contribution. And the details of that are still taking shape and form. And so definitely look out to all of that in the future. But just know that I'm really coming back to everyone with a deeper sense of our greater purpose as souls, as humans together. And I'm going to be just so firm and loving and tenacious with all of us, for us to really ground all the spiritual concepts that we have held for so long up in our heads, in our bodies. So not only that we get out in the world and do impactful things, but just our presence in the world is a radiant source of positivity. Because the most powerful thing we will ever do for our world is not necessarily get out there as these literal change makers and coaches and healers and leaders, but to really let go of everything within us that is not purely divine, so that our most radiant, clear, joyous, loving, understanding, compassionate self comes through most powerfully each and every moment. So that each and every moment that I am interacting with life, I am more rooted in coming from true love, understanding, faith, surrender, allowing the force of life to work through me rather than me doing things, right? And just really being a vehicle, a vessel for love. And I am just going to be really tenacious with all of us to really ground our divinity, our goddessness, our knowing in our bodies, so that it actually changes us and we actually move from that place without thinking about it. Oh yeah, without having to remind ourselves. So I'm really, really excited to start coming back out. I'm going to be coming back out gently, but it's just really, really, really good to be back with such a clear center and direction and what I'm bringing. And I'm just really excited about this group because that's what we are here, right? We are spirit-led and rising. And again, that's whether you're a coach, a change maker, a leader, a CEO, or a mom, a grocery store clerk. We are all leaders. We are all either going to be adding to the collective informational consciousness, informational soup, fear, insecurity, doubt, constant second guessing, not knowing who we truly are, insecurity, excess mental noise, shame. We're either going to be adding that to the collective soup, or we're going to be adding presence, heart, wonder, awe, love, appreciation, faith. And the more of us that are adding that to the collective soup, the more quickly we're going to get to that crucial tipping point that we're almost there at, where the world is going to awaken to a real paradigm of understanding life and awaken back into moving from faith and love and communion. So, long introduction for what I really want to talk to you guys about today. And that is who we really are. Our divinity. So many beautiful people using the word goddess, God, we are divine. I certainly have for a long time. But I didn't always feel that way, right? I still second guess myself a lot. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen still. I'm still human. I still have thought, very human thought moving through me. I just understanding for what it is. For the thought that it is. But here's the thing. You know how if you plug an appliance into the electrical outlet, there's some invisible force that we don't understand and we quite can't yet see that brings that appliance to life. And suddenly that refrigerator is running and cooling and freezing and doing all the things it does. That's really the metaphor of who we are, these vehicles. We are forever one and connected and actually driven by this force of wisdom. This collective force of wisdom that is what makes the planets turn. It's what turns a seed into a forest, right? This wisdom beyond what we'll ever be able to comprehend. And we are forever one and connected with. And the only reason we don't feel that force is because we're so caught up in our head, in our thinking, in our egoic mind. But that force is literally what's bringing life experience to life within me. That force is how I move every day. That force has so much more wisdom than I realize. That force is so much closer to me than I realize because I am that force. And that force has been guiding me so powerfully and perfectly and simply in an everyday way, every day in my life. That force speaks to me through hunches and nudges. That mind, that greater wisdom and mind tells me sometimes to go to left instead of right, and I avoid an accident. Sometimes it tells me to go to the grocery store, and my head thinks it's about food. But when I get there, I meet my next business partner. So that nudge to go to the grocery store that my head thought was about food was actually about some work I was supposed to do. That force told me to go to college. Yeah, I think I'm going to study this now. It's just that inner knowing. It's just kind of that soft knowing. I need to leave this relationship. I need to get in this relationship. It's just that soft knowing below the voice, right? One of my teachers uses this beautiful metaphor of this loud, cacophonous marching band, and then this slight flute player in the corner, right? And so there's this slight flute player in the corner playing this sweet melody. And then there's this next, on the other side of the room, there's this loud, cacophonous marching band. And the flute player hasn't stopped playing. But you can't hear that soft flute player because of this large, cacophonous marching band. But that flute player is always there. And as soon as the large, cacophonous marching band settles, stops playing, quiets down, you can hear it again. So usually, the reason why we feel so disconnected to that wisdom we are, that force of life that knows infinitely better than us, is because we're so paying attention to the large, cacophonous marching band that we don't hear the flute player. But the flute player is who we are. It's always there. It's always there. It never stops playing. And what I discovered was when I started to let go, literally on an everyday level, my spiritual practice, to just let go and let go and let go and let go of all my personal preferences, opinions, likes, desires. No matter how right they felt. How dare she do that to me, right? I'm in traffic right now. I should be somewhere else right now. When I let go of everything I thought should be, she should not act that way. I should not be stuck in traffic. When I started to just make it my spiritual practice, not to meditate and sit every morning on a meditation cushion, but make my life my spiritual practice. Make love my master. Make my highest self my master, meaning I am no longer bowing to my ego. Yes, I'm right. I'm the one doing things. I know better. I thought of this idea, and now I'm going to stick to this idea no matter what, even though my intuition's like nudging me. Yeah, that idea was nice the other day, but it's not nice anymore. It's not for you anymore. So my intuition screamed, no, I committed it, and I have my whole identity wrapped up around this vision, and I have to make this happen, and I suffered through it, right? I start moving from a still small voice. When I continuously, every day, let go of what I think should be and just fall back into the present moment. When I continuously drop my thinking. Oh, there's thinking again. Whoops. Beautiful. Yeah, there it is. Now it's telling me this beautiful thing about this person. Now it's telling me this ugly thing about the presidential elections. Now it's telling me this might be better. When I just continuously drop, what I discover as I fall back into the moment, it's just peace. I instantly feel better. What else could I want in life? What else do we do? Anything. Why else do we do anything but to feel good, right? But feeling good doesn't have to take a PhD degree or marriage. You can feel good right now. There's a much quicker route. Not only do I feel peace and my innate well-being, again, but the force I am begins to move me. The force I am, the wisdom, the divinity, the brilliance I am comes back to the foreground rather than get pushed to the background by the cacophony of my mind. And it guides me. And it guides me so meticulously that more and more each day, the more I learn to drop all my thinking and my opinions and my thoughts. And realize this force within me that I am, that's working through me for what it is. I realize it's always going to guide me, and I actually don't have to figure anything out. It's that ego that's driven, based in fear, that needs to know ahead of time. So I don't have to figure anything out. I just focus what's right in front of me. And if what's right in front of me is to do research around a potential project, I do that. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great. If something emerges that brings that project to life, awesome. I continue to follow the steps. If not, I'll be in a new moment where I'll get a new idea, a new set of wisdom. And this is really awakening. The path of awakening is the accumulation of all these moments of dropping enough of yourself so that God can emerge. And the more you drop, trust me, you will start to consistently feel and know who you are as a divine goddess. And you will just be walking through the grocery store in the most unassuming way, not I am a goddess, but just in your presence, and your presence will be a presence of clarity and love. And there will literally be a trail of that love in and around you, of that radiance in and around you, reminding people of who they are, just connecting with you. They don't realize this, but on an internal subconscious level, they're reconnecting with their truth. And the more you just feel deep compassion and love and understanding for everyone and everything, Clinton and Trump, your enemies and your friends, the people who wronged you and the people who loved you. You really can't be divine and yourself at the same time. And by yourself, I'm talking about little s, right? So fill in the blank of your name. So my name's Shirley. You can't be God and Shirley at the same time. Shirley is a human construct. I am Shirley. I look like this. I have these degrees. I act this way. I'm this way. My personality is this way. I'm loved by certain people. I'm part of certain cliques. I've achieved a certain thing. I have not achieved a certain thing. Human concepts that only bring suffering, right? Human concepts that think it knows what's success or what's not success. Having a New York Times bestseller is not success. Being broke is not failure. Those are human stories or thought. Let go. Let go of who you think you are, who you should be. And in that space, you will start to really know who you are. It's so beautiful. Working on yourself doesn't work. You don't need to work on yourself. You need to unlearn, deconstruct, let go, subtract. And when you subtract, you add. So that is my invitation to all of you beauties today. Start subtracting and you will add so much to your life experience. I love you, ladies, and definitely let me know in the comments below what you heard in this video, what this is bringing up for you. Love you, beauties. Till next time, you are that source, from that cosmic electric socket, and it's moving you. You can stop efforting, thinking you know better, and let that force move you. Take care, everyone.